welcome back. This is the Odyssey, and today we are seated with Honorable Ekow Assafuah. Earlier on, he was running us through his journey in student politics. He did not let the series of failure deter him. He strived hard, and today, the ball is in his court. So, Honorable, at what point did you decide to join national politics?
Well, when I became the national president for NASPA, I had one interview on TV3.
Okay.
It was late news nights at the time, hosted by Komla Kluje and Brighton Afo of TV3 that time. Then it was about increment in national service allowance. At the time, we were paid 243, woefully inadequate. So I was the president who led for the increment of the allowance from 243 to 350.
Wow.
So when I finished one interview in the night, the current Minister for Information, Fatima Abubakar, sent me a message that the second lady, the now second lady, wants to see me.
Wow.
So I went to see Fatima. Then Fatima told me that, the second lady had decided or intends to work with me. So I should let her know if I'm ready or not. And I said, oh, I'm ready. Why not?
They were asking you whether you are ready or not.
Yes, and I said, I'm ready. It's even an honor for me.
Sure.
So I told Fatima that I'm ready, so she should tell the second lady that I would love to work with her. So that is how come I became the personal assistant of the current second lady in 2014.
Okay.
Getting to 2015, because I was still the national service president then. So I was her special assistant from that time till 2017. Around the same time, I had already joined the national communications team
of
the New Patriotic Party. I started with UTV Saturday morning shows. Then one morning when I finished with the morning show, I got a call from Mami Fuakuto, former Deputy Communications Director of the party, that Perry Okujato wants to see me on Tuesday. Perry Okujato was the Deputy Communications Director for the party at the time. So I went to DI. When I went to see Kofi Japan, the current YEA CEO, who is like a best friend currently. I saw Perry Okujato, I saw Ekow and those kind of guys at DI. So they told me that, they saw me on UTV, because that time I was going on my own. But they realized that I could help the party.
Sure.
And so they want to recruit me into the national communications team. And I said, that is good news. So from then, the party started deploying me officially to other stations, whilst I was still working for the second lady. I went around the whole country with the second lady at the time.
Okay.
So today, in every part of the country, I have friends.
There.
I know people, because we campaigned in opposition for this party. When we won, in fact, even before we won, in 2016, we were having this program called Minority Caucus.
Yes.
Joy was hosting it, and Home-Based TV was hosting it.
Okay. Again,
the Home-Based TV one, it was Nanabi who was hosting it. But later said, okay, he had other plans and all that, so he wants to use that to groom me to be, or if you like, to enter the national politics proper. So he gave me that opportunity to host the Home-Based TV program. Then Akbar, one of the special assistants to the vice president as we speak, was the host for Minority Caucus on Joy News. So they also paired me with him to also host Minority Caucus on Joy News, whilst I was still doing national communications team kind of thing. And Kofi Japan was the media liaison at the time for the party, and he also co-opted me to help him with the media engagement. So at the time, we were slotting people to go to this TV station. So if you want to go to Metro TV, if you have to go to TV3, if you have to go to GTV, Asempa, whatever, it was myself and Kofi. In fact, I was doing that to help Kofi. So I was one way or the other Kofi's assistant. Then in 2017, by God's grace, when he won power, I told the second lady that I wanted a different challenge. A challenge whereby I would be able to try and test different kind of political arena.
Okay.
So they first took me to Ghana Tourism Authority. When they were taking me there, it was herself and the First Lady who made that move, that I should be made the Deputy CEO for Ghana Tourism Authority to Akwesi Agyeman. But of course, I think at the time, I started work there anyway, but I spent just about 2-3 months because the processes to which would lead for me to be a deputy was quite tedious because it was technical positions. And at that time, I was just 26 years. I was just 25. I was going to be the youngest government appointee at the time. I was just 26 years in 2017 because the Second Lady and the First Lady felt that the kind of assistance that I gave to them at the time, I mean, I deserved to be a deputy CEO. But of course, the processes could not happen. So I left. And I was home for about 2-3 months, 4 months thereabout. One day I was there when a lady called Agation, no, not Agation, I'll check again. I call her Betty. Yes, Betty. Betty was, I think, was the woman organizer for Nooks at the time. Told me that Napo would want to speak to me. Just about 3 hours, Sami Oku also called.
Wow.
And said that Napo said you should come to his office.
And
I said, okay. Unfortunately for me at that time, I had gone through a surgery, a confanoche. So I was still in bed. I was not able to walk very well. So I gave myself another 2 weeks so that I could heal and come back from Kumasi. So when I came, the first thing was to move to Napo's office. He received me so nicely and he said, I want you to work for me. We are starting this free SHS thing. I would wish that you be my PR. And I said, I accept it wholeheartedly. So since 2017-18 there, I worked for Napo as the PRO to the Ministry of Education. That time when he was appointing me, I was 27 years. A lot of people said I did not have the qualification to be the PR of the Ministry of Education. It was too huge.
It was too huge.
People were asking, how am I going to even engage these professors and doctors when they are on strike and all those kind of things? What is my experience in university administration?
I know,
What
right?
is my experience in polytechnic administration? What is my experience in education? What role have I played as far as education is even concerned? Nothing of a sort. So people were trying to put sand in my gari that I did not qualify. But of course, one thing I know about Napo is that when he decides to do something, you are also able to convince him that you can do the work. That's it. He will stand by you. And Napo stood by me from that time for me to perform this job as the public relations officer for the Ministry of Education. A position I think I discharged dutifully. So well to the extent that that gave me a national appeal in Ghana here. And so, you remember in 2020 when Dr. Akoto decided not to contest, of course I was lazy my boots here and there because I had already seen the signals that old boy Emre, so old boy may not contest again. So one day, I was there. Something happened in the constituency. Then I think Akoto came to report to Napo that, see what your boy is doing in my constituency. I think some people accosted him or attacked him. In fact, God be my witness, I don't know anything about that. Then when Napo called...
After that time, you were planning to contest him?
I was planning, not contest him. I knew he was not going to contest. I knew he was not going to contest. But you see, the succession plan in Tafo did not include me. So I knew it was going to be very difficult for me to get his support. Even though he doesn't have any problem with me. But of course, before he was contesting in 2004, certain people helped him. And one way or the other, it is natural for you to contemplate that you will pay them back. So I was not part of the equation. But I had to use other smart means to enter.
To get in.
So I was there when Napo called me and he said, what is happening? And Dr. Kutu was there. And when I went, Charlie, Dr. Kutu, Napo, my hands were at my back. And they were putting questions. What am I doing in the constituency? Why have I allowed people to go and attack? I said, boss,
I know nothing about it.
Yes, I am talking to people to contest. I am doing so because I know Uncle Anthony cannot or may not contest again.
Yes.
If he doesn't, that is when I'm going to contest. But of course, you know that I cannot contest, Dr. Anthony Akotose.
How old were you by then?
I was 28. They called me, that was 2018, thereabout.
Okay.
So in 2019, thereabout, it became clear that he was not contesting. So that was when Napu said that, okay, now you can go. You have my support and you have my blessings. In fact, there was a program that he had in 2019 on Asempa FM. Then Obi brought it up. In fact, I was sitting close to him in the studio when Obi said, I have realized that your right-hand man, Ekow, wants to enter parliament.
Okay.
The answer he gave him was, when a war so good and I think I still have that video. So from there, I got the energy and the vim to contest because now I knew that I had my boss's full support. And I went on the grounds to campaign hard. He knew 7 months to election that I was going to win the election.
Okay.
He's a seasoned politician.
Yes.
A politician. He had already done all the necessary. So he told me, oh, you win the election. You win the election. In fact, I won the election by over 52%.
Wow.
We were 6. If you add all the other 5 votes together.
It wasn't up to yours.
It wasn't up to mine. So that was how I won my primaries in 2020. Shockingly, Dr. Koto was not in town when we were voting.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened. Up till now, I have not been able to ask my boss, but I feel that my boss was able to talk to him, not to be in town. Because obviously, if he's in town, there was no way he could campaign for me, because even though he doesn't have any problem with me, there were people who had held me who wanted that position, and he had to pay them back. So my boss was like, Dr. Koto was not in town. I was so happy that he was not in town, but Sir John was in town. Sir John came to my constituency 2 months before elections. He was there almost every 2 weeks. He himself will call the delegates and tell them, Ante Pamfuaba, when I was a young lawyer, when I'm hungry, that
was you?
That's me, yes. My mom was a baker in Otafo. So so I have no option than to support him. So you people should listen, even though he's a fanti, but he has been born and bred here. So if I'm in the United States of America, I'm a citizen of the US.
Yes, of course.
So he led the chiefs, he led a lot of people in the campaign for them to vote for me. In fact, that was his project. Unfortunately for him, he died 3 months after I won the elections. He made a lot of promises to me, which I knew if he was living, it would have come to fruition in 2021.
Yes. Because
in front of me, at the time I remember, he called the vice president. He mentioned a position at that time, he called the second lady even when he was campaigning for me, for the second lady to speak to certain delegates. For the delegates to be sure that indeed that was their choice. Sir John did all that. So I was one of the biggest orphans when Sir John died. Because I knew he could
have done a lot for you.
A lot of things for me as far as my projection is concerned. But
definitely.
Wherever he is, I wish him a restful and a peaceful rest. So when I won the elections, in fact, because he was not there, and because I knew what was happening around Napu and all, I didn't bother him with an appointment. In fact, I remember he saying, take your time and learn, your time will come. So I didn't even lobby for anything. I did not lobby for anything. A lot of people thought I was going to be appointed Deputy Education Minister at the time. There were a number of lists that was going on because of my experience at the Education Ministry. When I won, everybody was like,
it was highly expected.
Yes. In fact, when a lot of lists were banded around, I saw those lists and nobody has even called me. So why all these lists? But I had not lobbied for anything. I had not also been called. So the appointment came. I started with my parliamentary duties. But just after a year or two, I saw people also trying to contest the seat again.
Okay.
So I had to shift my attention back because, of
The
course,
Assafuah seat.
the Assafuah seat. I could not lose the seat that early.
Definitely.
So my attention was divided, Assafuah, Accra,
Okay.
Assafuah, Accra. And I was also in the law school. I had to make sure that
You were doing a whole lot at
at
a
the same
time.
time. I was also in the law school. I had to make sure that I also complete my law school. But that was the passion. I could not do law in KNUST, my first degree, because my father told me he could not pay.
Okay.
I had grade 10 at the time, I think grade 10, yeah. And grade 10 could not qualify you to read law at KNUST. You had to do fee paying.
Okay.
But the first year my father could pay, but he said the second and the third years he may not be able to pay. What happened?
Yes.
So it's better I do the political studies. So right after national service, I started doing the law. And I knew that at the right time, I'll get the opportunity to be a lawyer. That has been a personal childhood ambition, to be called to the bar, which I've been able to achieve. So when I won the primaries, I was there when I had a message from Carlos von Brazi, the deputy chief of staff, that I should bring my CV. He thinks that I deserve an appointment. The president has spoken to him, so I should come. So I went, gave my CV. One day I was there when one of the assistants told me that the president would want to see me. And I went to see the president. The first thing he told me was, Wobo Modern. That is Ghana, right? Wobo Modern. That is Ghana. What does it mean? You are doing your best. That was the president's statement, his first statement to me.
Okay.
That Wobo Modern.
He's been watching you from afar.
And he also said that was a difficult contest. You did well, Wobo Modern, Wobo Modern. And he held my hand and shook my hand. And he said, I want to take you to the local government ministry. I want you to go and help Martin and James Sakosa. And I said, I'm okay with it. But I think he had already called Martin. So Martin called me before I went to see the president. And Martin told me that the president asked if he can work with me. And Martin said, oh, he is even the one I was even looking out for. In fact, I've been helping him. In fact, Martin has been doing a lot for me even before I became his deputy. So he was so happy with it and told the president that he has sealed it, he wants me to come. So when I went to see the president said, my minister is already a fan of me, so I don't have any problem. I should just go and support him. So that's how come I was appointed a deputy local government minister.
You had a very smooth run in this space. Why do you
Grace?
think so?
Grace, that is what God brought me to this world to do. So, whilst you might see it to be easy, I had also worked for it.
Okay.
Because at every year of my life, this is the only year that I did not educate myself.
Okay.
Every year, I was doing a course. Every year, I was attaining a master's degree. Because as we speak, I have about 6 degrees. Yes. Apart from the political studies, I did the law, which was for 3 years.
Okay.
After the law, I had masters at Legon, masters in economic policy management. I also have another masters at Legon, which is MA Development Finance, also at Legon.
Okay.
I also have another masters at GIJ, masters in public relations. That was motivated by Napo because I was his PR. He thought that I should be able to do a PR kind of thing. Then I have the BL as well. That is the Bachelor of Laws.
Yes.
So I have about 6 degrees. And I'm also in my final year, as we speak, PhD at Legon.
Honorable, why?
Which I was supposed to have completed last year.
Why?
But because of some situations on campus, all of us could not complete last year, but should be able to complete this year. But because of this ministerial thing, it is also giving me a hell of a time. If I'm not able to finish this year, next year I should be able to finish that. So at every year of my life, I have educated myself. And so I prepared myself for it. One philosopher said that it is better to prepare for an opportunity, and there will not be any opportunity, than not to be prepared, and there will be an opportunity, that one you have failed yourself.
Amazing. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Odyssey with Honorable Vincent Ekow Assafuah. Very inspiring story.